In the headlines, Lamurde calm after communal unrest. 30 Zamfara communities protest fresh insecurity. Kano street children surge sparks budget demands. On the foreign scene, Mali army, Wagner accused of rights abuses. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update on Trust TV. My name is Idris Dayebature. Now, peace is gradually returning to communities in Waduku and Rigange in Lamurde, the local government area of Adamawa State, following recent clashes between the Chobo and Bachama-speaking groups. In a strong show of commitment to lasting peace, Governor Umar Fintiri visited the affected areas and engaged directly with residents. Trust TV's Gibson Swadigu reports.
The scars of conflict remain visible as destroyed homes, abandoned commercial centers, and empty food banks dot the landscape of affected communities. The victims' weary faces reflect a shared yearning to return to their farms, rebuild their lives, and live peacefully as neighbors once more.
I'm calling on them to embrace peace, to let go of the pains and accept it as the act of God.
For now, peace and normalcy are gradually returning to Lamurde local government area as Governor Umar Fintiri traveled over 150 kilometers to the remote communities of Waduku and Rigange, former hotspots of tension between the Chobo and Bachama-speaking communities. The governor met with residents and received briefings from the affected communities. While addressing local leaders and residents, Governor Fintiri called for peaceful coexistence, unity and dialogue as the way forward.
They have no choice than to live together. It is God that has made it and destined that they should live together, and they are going to live together. They've intermarried, and this is not coming from an external aggression. It's coming among neighbors that have lived over 100 years together. So you least imagine that this can happen in between them. What will have pushed them to do this, I think we'll get to the root cause of it and provide solution. I'm very sure that they have listened to me and they will abide by it. They will ensure that there is peace in this land because this is a government they trust. This is a government that they voted, and whatever I tell them, they will trust me.
Community members in turn voice their concerns and demands.
So when the government can come into the matter and send enough security and have a dialogue with the both communities, I think the solution will come up.
Security operatives were also commended for their swift intervention and continued efforts in restoring law and order. Gibson Soadgo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Now, at least 2 notorious armed dealers who supply weapons to attackers involved in the mass killing in Yelwata, Benue State, have been arrested by security forces. The arrest followed coordinated intelligence-led operations conducted by the Force Intelligence Department Intelligence Response Team, FID, IRT, along the Lafia-Makurdi Expressway in Abinsi, Goma local government area of Benue State. One of the suspects, Abubakar Isa, was intercepted with 3 AK-47 rifles and 1,002 rounds of 7.62mm live ammunition. He was allegedly transporting the arms for distribution to bandit groups operating in the Benue. Further investigations led to the arrest of another armed dealer, Jacob Adiku, in Abinsi. He was found in possession of multiple weapons, including 3 AK-47 rifles, 220 rounds of ammunition, and a Volkswagen vehicle modified to conceal arms. Additional raids uncovered 5 more AK-47 rifles, a rocket launcher, and 1,000 rounds of live ammunition. Security operatives also arrested an accomplice identified as Ibrahim, also known as Chelsea, who reportedly transferred over 6.5 million naira to fund the purchase and transport of the weapons. Now, troops of Operation Fansanyama have foiled a terrorist attack in Rijau local government area of Niger State. The operations was carried out on Tuesday when troops intercepted a large group of terrorists advancing from the Babandoka axis of Zamfara State towards Ragada and Warari communities in Niger State. Joint forces from the Mariga and Zuru sectors launched a coordinated assault near Inana village, engaging the insurgents in a fierce gun battle. Troops recovered 2 AK-47 rifles, a loaded magazine, 18 motorcycles, communication devices, and other items from the scene. However, the operation was not without losses, as one soldier was fatally injured during the exchange. Now, residents of about 30 troubled communities in Gusau local government area of Zamfara State have staged a peaceful protest against insecurity, calling on the government to deploy troops to protect them. They said armed bandits invaded the Bunji Hegemaihe community in the early hours of Wednesday, killing several people and displacing the community. They decried the non-presence of troops in their communities, leaving the violent armed groups to unleash terror and impose levies on them before they can access their farms. The protesters took to their protest to the Zamfara State Government House to register their troubles and appeal to the government to take urgent action to secure their communities against criminals. Now, with growing concern over the rising number of street children and an inadequate social response to child welfare, a media dialogue on child-sensitive budget held in Kano has sparked renewed calls for action. At the event, UNICEF and other stakeholders advocate for improved budgetary allocations to child-focused sector, while government representatives noted that although efforts are ongoing, several bottlenecks continue to hinder delivery, hence the need for the involvement of all stakeholders in safeguarding the future of children. Trust TV's Abdulaziz Ibrahim reports.
A 2021 multiple indicator cluster survey estimates that Kano State is home to nearly 6.5 million children. Child mortality and low immunization rate to malnutrition, multidimensional poverty and recurring disease outbreaks are challenges affecting children. Addressing these challenges are deeply tied to how budgets across key ministries such as health, education and women affairs are allocated. While budget allocations to these sectors have steadily increased between 2021 and 2025, the figures, according to UNICEF, still fall short of global benchmarks.
About 35% of children are primarily at the primary and junior secondary schooling age are not attending schools. That is we're talking about nearly 2.3 million children who are out of school. And of course, this threatens Kano State future human capital. So nearly 4.7 million children in the age between 6 to 23 months are not receiving the minimum acceptable diet, leading to more than 3 million children under 5 are stunted. So this affects their capabilities of learning and their intelligence will be affected.
Key challenges militating against implementing budgets in child-sensitive sectors include budget leakages, bureaucratic bottlenecks, and weak accountability structures, all contributing to missed development targets. But lawmakers say there is still hope. The Deputy Speaker of the Kano State House of Assembly, Muhammad Bello, acknowledges these gaps and called for stronger collaboration, effective oversight, and renewed commitment to protect Kano's children, especially with millions still out of school.
The implementation of the law, and so many factors need to be considered in implementing a law. The tradition, the culture, the religion, the societal influence, all these need to be considered. You need to be very careful. What you will do in Enugu is not something that you can do here in Kano. Even here in Zamfara, how you can understand in Zamfara may not be the same way you will handle it in Kano or in Kano. So we need to be very careful. Of course, the government and the people, especially the group of elites, and even all of us, are very much interested in seeing these children not moving on the street.
For the next budgeting process, we are at a very pivotal moment. Very important, very critical time we have this discussion and dialogue, because it's a time for all the MDAs to prepare their budgets and submit their budgets. So this is a timely discussion. We are raising the alarms and calling for every responsible individual in those government ministries, commissions, and MDAs to take actions. The choice that we can make in the next Kano State budget process will reflect our true priorities. So don't miss this opportunity. Well, let's make sure that every naira counts for the Kano's children.
There is hope that with stronger political will, authorities will allocate more resources for child-focused sectors and also ensure better implementation. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
Now, former Jigawa State Governor Sule Lamido has accused President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration of using state institutions to suppress opposition voices and weaken democracy. Speaking to journalists in Kano, Lamido claimed agencies such as the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) were being deployed to pressure political opponents into submission. He cited recent corruption charges against opposition figures who later defected to the ruling party, alleging selective justice and political manipulation. Lamido argued that such actions were damaging Nigeria's democratic foundation and contributing to national instability, insecurity, and public distrust. He expressed concern over the lack of cohesion among emerging political coalitions ahead of the 2027 general elections. Unlike the structured alliance that formed the APC in 2014, he said current efforts lack institutional backing and more mostly driven by individual ambitions. Now, the ruling All Progressives Congress (APC) and opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP) will begin preparations for the 2027 electioneering with crucial National Executive Committee (NEC) meetings. This Wednesday, the PDP will commence the process that will culminate in its 101st NEC meeting on Friday. The meeting, during which the date of its convention will be decided, will lead to the election of new national officers. They will take the party through the primaries and the 2027 general elections. Between Wednesday and Friday, the PDP National Working Committee (NWC) and the Board of Trustees (BOT) will meet to resolve outstanding issues before the NEC meeting on Friday. On the part of the APC, its caucus, which usually precedes the NEC meeting, will meet this Wednesday to set the template for Thursday's NEC meeting. On the agenda of the NEC will be the participation of the national chairman to replace the immediate past chairman, Umar Abdullahi Ganduje, who resigned voluntarily on June 27 on health grounds. Now, some coastal communities in Delta State have been devastated by flash floods and erosion. The twin natural disasters destroyed farmlands, homes, and livelihoods. Reports say Ibidike Kingdom of Soko South local government area and other communities in the state are among those affected. In Anochia North local government area, 3 faced with imminent ecological disasters have called on the state government to intervene to address the impending danger. Victims of the recent flash floods that ravaged part of Ute-Okpu Kingdom Ika Northeast local government area have also sent a passionate appeal to government authorities and well-meaning Nigerians for urgent assistance. In a reaction, Delta State Governor Sharif Oberevori said his administration is committed to addressing the developmental needs of different communities in the state. This is the news update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Food prices drop in Lagos markets. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Lamurde calm after communal unrest. And 30 Zamfara communities protest fresh insecurity. Now moving on to other stories, food prices in major markets across Lagos State have dropped. Perishable items that previously sold at high prices are now more affordable due to the rainy season. Similarly, the cost of some staple foods items have also declined. However, not all food items are cheaper, as grain-based staples like soybeans, crayfish and stockfish remain expensive. Victoria Tokolo's report is presented from our studios.
In several major markets across Lagos State, including Shango Market, Musalashi Alaja and Agege Main Market, prices of key food items have seen noticeable declines. Some staple food items have recorded moderate reductions. A bag of onions, which previously sold for 140,000 naira, now goes for 130,000 naira to 135,000 naira. A paint bucket of white gari now sells for 2,000 naira, while yellow gari is priced between 2,500 naira and 2,700 naira, down from 4,000 naira. White and yellow corn as well as Guinea corn and wheat now go for 2,800 naira per paint bucket. Among perishable goods, pepper prices have dropped significantly, with a big basket now costing 60,000 naira. Although tomatoes remain relatively expensive, green vegetables such as pumpkin leaves, ugu, shoko, ewedu and okra have all become more affordable. Despite this reduction, some staple items are still very costly. Soya beans remain at 5,000 naira per paint bucket, while ofada rice continues to sell for between 11,000 naira and 12,000 naira. Crayfish prices have risen sharply, now selling at 14,000 naira per paint bucket, up from the previous 6,000 naira to 8,000 naira. Stockfish remains the priciest item, with even the smallest pieces now going for 10,000 naira. Traders across various Lagos markets share their views on the changing food prices.
Just like that, egusi have not really go up, neither do they. It's at the level price. Like egusi now, paint is 8,085 for paint. That is for engine peel. So hand peel is like 11,000 for paint.
Fish is too costly. The thing wey dey sell for me, I don't still sell am again, because that was before how much I dey buy? 30,000, 60,000, but now it's 140. Kote is 75. Every day, now they put money 5,000, 6,000. Now they put every day. Then they put 2,000, 1,000, 5,000, 6,000. Every day, now they put. Mullet is 5,000, is 50,000. So they buy in bunch. Before bunch is too high. They say 35, they say 20, they say 40. But now they are selling 15,000. Sometimes when they no see buyers, they say 12,000. So it's coming down small. This is the time we are is costing. This basket is 65,000 because we are buying bag 120, 130. The small bag we are buying 75,000. This one, basket of this one, 65,000. This one, basket of this one, you can sell it 50,000. Because one of this one's 200. Price of this basket now is 60,000. We bought this one, 60,000. Shombo bag, small bag is 50,000 per bag. It's coming down small because this one before reach 80, 100. This one.
Selling bundle. We dey sell bundle anyone you want buy. We dey sell bundle anyone. But before we dey sell 30, 50, 60. But now, thank God, they don dey come down small. Now we dey sell 12,000, 50,000, 20,000. No be like before.
Traders in Lagos are hopeful that with the rainy season now in full swing, prices of more food items, especially perishables like vegetables, tomatoes and pepper, will continue to drop.
And now in business, 11 commercial banks in Nigeria has exceeded the 5% regulatory limit for non-performing loans in April 2025 due to an industry-wide loan reclassification during annual risk assessment. According to a member of CBN's Monetary Policy Committee MPC, Mustafa Akinwumi, the non-performing loans ratio close to 5.62% in April 2025, exceeding the 5% prudential threshold. The reclassification, which typically occur as part of year-end credit quality evaluations, caused the industry-wide NPL ratio to rise above the CBN's 5% prudent benchmark. This marks an increase from a year earlier when only 6 banks were guilty of the breach. Akinwumi noted that the breach reflects a more accurate accounting of credit risk rather than a sudden deterioration in asset quality. According to him, the CBN might consider temporary forbearance measures to sectors like oil and gas that are more exposed to global shocks. Now, away from Nigeria, Human Rights Watch HRW has accused Mali's armed forces and the Russian Wagner Group of carrying out serious human rights violations, including the execution and enforced disappearance of Fulani men during joint operations in 2025. The report alleges that at least a dozen Fulani men were executed and 81 others forcibly disappeared between January and July during counterinsurgency campaigns targeting Islamist militias. HRW noted that Islamist groups often attempt to recruit Fulani men, making the broader Fulani community a frequent target in military operations. The Wagner Group, which has operated in Mali alongside national forces, has been previously implicated in civilian abuse across various conflict zones, though it maintains no formal affiliation with the Russian government. In response to the allegations, HRW is urging the African Union and international partners to pressure Mali's military junta to launch independent investigations and ensure accountability. The latest accusation comes amid broader concerns over governance and human rights in Mali as the country continues its transition under military rule following multiple coups. And now in sport, ahead of their title defense at the 29th FIBA Women's Afro Basket Championship, reigning African champions Nigeria's D Tigers have been urged to go for their 5th title. Chairman of the National Sports Commission NSC, Malem Shehu Diko, who hosted D Tigers in Abuja on Tuesday, stated the need for D Tigers to keep up with their recent performances as the defending champions of Africa. He ensures them the support of the Commission in both logistics and all aspects needed for them to shine in the competition as they prepare for the upcoming competition. The 29th edition of the Women's Afrobasket will feature 12 countries battling for continental glory, and Nigeria heads into the tournament as the defending champions, having defeated Senegal 84-74 in the 2023 final in Kigali, Rwanda. The D Tigers also triumphed over Senegal in 2017 and 2019 and beat Mali in the 2021 final, asserting dominance on the continent over the past decade. And with that, we have come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. My name is Idris Daye Bature, thanking you for being with us. Good evening.